Art Nouveau is an international and style of art, architecture and applied art, especially the decorative arts, that were most popular during 1890 to 1910. The name Art Nouveau is French for New Art. It is now also a student style, German youth style, named after magazine Jugend, which promoted it, as modern in Russia, Prohab, named after Parisian gallery, La Maison Moderne, a sensation in Austria, Hungary, and its successor State after the Vines group artists, and in Italy as Style Liberty from the department store in London, Liberty and Company, which popularized the style aviation to academic art of the 19th century. It was inspired by natural form and structure, not only in flowers and plants, but also in curved lines, architectural to harmonize with the natural environment. It is also considered a philosophy and design of furniture which was designed according to the house building and made part of ordinary life.
The style was influenced by Czech artist Alphonse Mucha, when Mucha produced a lithograph poster which appeared on January 1, 1895 in the streets of Paris as an advertisement for the play Gismonda by Victorine Sardou, featuring Sarah Bernhardt. It popularized the new artistic style and its creator to the citizens of Paris. Initially named Style Mucha, his style soon became known as Art Nouveau. Art Nouveau was most popular in Europe, but its influence was global. Hence, it is known in various guises with frequent localized tendencies. In France, Hector Guimard's Paris Metro entrances were of Art Nouveau style, and Émile Gall practiced the style in Nancy. Victor Horta had a decisive effect on architecture in Belgium. Magazines like Jugend helped publicize the style in Germany, especially as a graphic art form, while the Vienna Secessionists influenced art and architecture throughout Austria-Hungary. Art Nouveau was also a style of distinct individuals such as Gustav Klimt, Charles Rennie Mackintosh, Alphonse Mucha, René Lalique, Anthony Gaudi, and Louis Comfort Tiffany, each of whom interpreted it in their own manner.
Although Art Nouveau was replaced by 20th century modernist styles, it is considered now as an important transition between the histories of neoclassicism and Modernism. Furthermore, Art Nouveau monuments are Nouveau recognized by UNESCO with the World Heritage List as significant contributions cultural heritage. The historic center of Riga, Latvia, with the finest collection of Art Nouveau buildings in Europe, was included on the list during 1997, in part because of the quantity and the quality of the Art Nouveau. Schuchentis architecture and four Brussels town houses by Victor Horta were included during 2000 as work of human creative genius, that outstanding example of Art Nouveau architects brilliantly illustrating the transition from the 19th to the 20th century in art, thought, and society.
The origin of Art Nouveau found in the resistance of the artist William Morris to the clouded composition and the revival tendencies of the 19th century, and his theories that helped initiate the art and craft movement. However, Arthur McMurdo's book cover for Brent City Churches 1883 with its rhythmic floral patterns is often considered the first realization of Art Nouveau. About the same time, the flat perspective and stroke color of Japanese wood block print, especially those of Kazuchika Hokusai, had a strong effect on the formulation of Art Nouveau, the Japanism that was popular in Europe during the 1880s and 1890s was particularly influential on many artists like Emily Gall and Jane Abbott McNeill-Whistler. Japanese-inspired art design was championed by the businessmen Siegfried Bin and Arthur Lansing Liberty at their store in Paris and London, respectively.
At its beginning, neither Art Nouveau nor Jugendstil was the common name of the style, but was known as this in some locations, and the style had different names as it was spread. Those two names came from, respectively, Samuel Bin's Galerie Maison de l'Art Nouveau in Paris and the magazine Jugend in Munich, both of which promoted and popularized the style. An advertisement for the Art Nouveau gallery, La Maison Moderne by Manuel Orasi. House of New Art was the name of the gallery, initiated during 1895 by the German art dealer Samuel Bing in Paris that featured exclusively modern art. The fame of his gallery was increased and the 1900 Exposition Universal, where he presented coordinated in design and color installations of modern furniture, tapestries and not just the art. Thus decorative displays became so strongly associated with the style that the name of his gallery subsequently provided a commonly used term for the entire style.
Schuschen's typography applied to a bravery youth. The Illustrated weekly magazine of art and lifestyle of Munich was a magazine initiated during 1896 by George Hirt. Hirt remained editor until his death during 1916, and the magazine continued to be published until 1940. The magazine was instrumental in promoting the style in Germany. As a result, its name was adopted as the most common German language term for the style, Jugendstil. Although during the early 20th century the word applied to only two-dimensional examples of the graphic arts, especially the form of organic typography and graphic design found in and influenced by German magazines like Jugend, Pan, and Simplicissimus. It's now applied to more general manifestation of Art Nouveau visual arts in Germany, the Netherlands, the Balkan states, and northern countries.
Other local names were associated with the characteristic of its forms, its broad designer, and their works, and schools of thought or study where it was popular. Many of these terms refer to the idea of newness before the term Art Nouveau became common in France. The style modern, the modern style, was the more frequent designation. Young art in Spain, moderne in Catalonia, Art Nouveau in Portugal, New Art, Art Nouveau in Italy, also New Art in the Netherlands, New Contemporary in Russia. Art containing these many names refer specifically to the organic forms that were popular, with the Art Nouveau artists style floral, floral style, Lilien style, Lily style, style novel, noodle style, Palin Stig, Il style, and Wall style, Whale style.
In other cases, important examples, well-known artists and associated locations influenced the names. Hector Guimard's Paris Metro and Transit, for example, provided the term style metro. The popularity in Italy of Art Nouveau designs from London's Liberty and Company department store result in its being known as the Liberty style, and in the United States it became known as the Tiffany style due to its association with Louis Comfort Tiffany. In Austria, a localized form of Art Nouveau was practiced by artists of the Vienna Secession, and it is therefore known as the Secession style. As a stand-alone term, however, Secession is used frequently to describe the general characteristic of Art Nouveau styles outside Vienna, but mostly in areas of Austria-Hungary at the beginning of the 20th century. In the United Kingdom, it is associated with the activities of Charles Rennie Mackintosh in Glasgow, and is often known as the Glasgow style.
Art Nouveau tendencies were used by local styles, and Denmark, for example, it was an aspect of study work which itself more closely relates to the arts and crafts style. Likewise, artists adopted many of the floral and organic motifs of Art Nouveau into the John Poland style in Poland. John Poland, however, was used inclusive of other artist styles and encompassed a style of art, literature, and lifestyle.
Although Art Nouveau acquired distinctive localized tendencies as its geography spread increased, some general characteristics are indicative of the form. A description published in Pan magazine of Hermann Abrit while hanging cyclamen 1894 described it as sudden, violent curve generated by the crack of a web, which became known better as the whiplash. But the term whiplash is frequently applied to the characteristic curve employed by Art Nouveau artists, such the orative whiplash motif formed by dynamic and telluride and flowing lines in a psychobrary. Read Art von Travel, the architecture, painting, sculpture, and the other form of Art Nouveau design.
As an art style, Art Nouveau has affinities with Pre-Raphaelites and the Symbolist styles, and artists like Aubrey Bursley, Alphonse Mucha, Edward Burne-Jones, Gustav Klimt, and Hans Turok could be classed in more than one of these styles. Unlike Symbolist painting, however, Art Nouveau has a distinctive appearance, and unlike the artisan-oriented arts and crafts movement, Art Nouveau artists readily used new materials, machined surfaces, and abstractions in the service of pure design. Art Nouveau did not negate machines as the art and craft movement did. For sculpture, the principal materials employed were glass and wrought iron, resulting in sculptural qualities even in architecture. Ceramics were also employed in creating editions of a sculpture by artists such as Auguste Rodin.
Art Nouveau architects made use of many technological innovations of the late 19th century, especially the use of exposed iron and large and irregularly shaped pieces of glass for architecture. By the start of World War I, however, the stylish nature of Art Nouveau design, which was expensive to produce, began to desist in favor of more streamlined rectilinear for the Nissan, which was cheaper and true to the more faithful to the plainer industrial aesthetic that became Art Deco.